All right, everybody. Gonna go over some stuff quick here. I know I said the next ones would be about rebuilding the the nation and about cow farts, but I decided to do this one here since I talked about some of the stuff before. A cashless society, personal responsibility with your funds and stuff. So if you look at a cashless society, you'd have no more armed robberies, no more bank robbery, no more ATM robberies, no more ATM grabs where they drag the machine out, because you wouldn't have no more ATMs, and you wouldn't have any more bank tellers. You would still have, the bank would collect a fee. You could go to the bank. They would still have financial planning and other products, and I think you need to teach economics in school. So one of the things is, why do you need so many rewards cards? Anyone who drives a truck out here knows every truck stop you got the reward card and this and that, all the other ones. So cashless society, you'd have your card, or maybe you'd have two cards. I guess it would depend if you wanted to have a separate deal for your business stuff or access it all from one card. Just that at the POS you would have to choose which account and stuff and everything. So like all your payroll and all your stuff and everything will go to your bank. The system will be set up, even if it's dividends, this and that and everything, to automatically place it in these separate accounts that you're going to choose, and automatically, if there's taxes to be paid, like on wages, tips, will, because there'll be no cash, so that'll all be done electronically too. So all that stuff will be, and we're going to do the lower tax rate, so all that stuff will be automatic. You just got to choose what percent would go into your accounts, like personal savings and checking, which you'd still call checking, but there's going to be no checks. So, and then like your personal Visa or whatever, so maybe you get one card for that, and then you get another card for your business, or you put it all on one card. So as your money comes in, you've designated where it's supposed to go. The taxes will go to your tax account over there in the end, and then you'll have your savings, your regular checking, or just for your debit. You'll have your credit, and then your business stuff. Then you're going to have medical savings, your retirement savings, retirement investment, an account for your burial, any trusts and other financial type accounts, and then like your taxes. So the point is okay, so some parts of society can't afford medical and all this, but they can afford to pay part of their own medical costs. You can come up with if you can come up with enough money for a 12-pack, you can come up with $10 for a copay. And the way we're going to make sure of that is, because everything's electronic, you're going to have a medical savings account. You're at least going to be partially responsible for services and stuff that you might receive from the state, benefits and things like that. So, and also, I don't know if you could do the Social Security funds, hook them with the banks or whatever, but you're going to choose your bank. You're going to choose, and then on your card too. Oh, I started going off on the reward stuff. I'm sorry, but so you use your card. Suppose you use it at a doctor or to buy a prescription. Well, the system, the way it's going to be set up, is automatically going to know. Everything will be encoded. So you use it at the doctor, it's going to be coded. It's going to go through. It's going to take it from your medical savings, and at the same time, make a note of it for your tax account, because what you spend at the doctor and prescriptions and stuff is all going to be tax deductible. So at the end of the year and everything, you don't have to file anything like that. You're never going to owe, but you may get a refund, because anything charitable I didn't write it down there, that you give anywhere or anything, automatically, straight to your tax thing. So there'll be no more filing. For all intents and purposes, you'll be getting rid of the IRS. You'll be getting rid of all the tellers, all the ATMs, all this and everything, and we'll have to put these people to work in other fields. But you're not going to have any more armed robbery. No one's going to have any cash on them. It's not going to do them any good to rob you. And these cards will be encoded and everything like that. And even if they get your card, they can't get no cash anywhere from it. All they could possibly do is try and transfer cash from your account to their account, which would be totally stupid because now you got them. So it's going to make it very difficult for criminals to operate. Okay. What else did I go off on? Rewards. So like you go to a store and everyone's got have you ever heard John Panette talk about, when he's checking out and they ask him, do you have our card? That and the Chinese buffet are two of the most hysterical things you'll ever hear if you get a chance. John Panette. So anyway, if you want this reward at this, it's Walgreens or whatever, to where it'll be automatic and you don't have to whip out a second card. The first time you pay with your debit card at the place, it'll come up. Do you want to add such and such Walgreens, whatever, information, or as a rewards card or whatever. And then next time you pay with that debit, it's already on there. Your rewards club information for Walgreens is already on your debit. You don't have to scan a second card or enter your phone number or any of that crap. As soon as you slide your card, any discount you're going to get is there. We have the technology for this. We can hook all this stuff up. All right. So no more fumbling for change, no more fumbling for cash, no more counterfeit cash, no more worried about getting mugged because you're not going to have any cash for them to take. If they take your card, what are they going to do with it? They're not going to be able to go into convenience stores and rob convenience. They can go in and shoplift and grab booze or whatever, but they're not going to be coming to the register and telling you to open the register because there ain't no cash. See what I mean? I said before my other ones, we're going to make being a law-abiding citizen really attractive to people and make life easier. And we're going to make being a criminal less attractive. And try and get society back in the right path, all heading in the right direction. So, what else was I going over here? So yeah, I think you get the gist of it anyway there. So you would have that one card, maybe two. Maybe you have one for your business and one for all your personal stuff. But you would get to pick, all your medical people and stuff in your retirement savings plans and investment plans. And just as your, paycheck came in, everything's going to be automatic, no actual checks and stuff. Comes in, goes straight to your accounts. It's divided up how you've chosen. Maybe we'll put some in like minimums or something. You got to, or suggested rates like, hey man, you got to put 2% into your medical, 2% to your retirement savings, 2% to your whatever. I know financial people will say, no, you need to put more in this. I'm just using an example, throwing that out there. So I think that would make life a lot simpler and make it a lot harder for criminals. What do you think? We have the technology, and like I said, hackers and scammers and all this, the laws are going to get tougher. It don't matter if you're in another country. We're going to extraction and come and get you in the middle of the night. We're not going to put up with people who are going to mess with this system. You're going to disappear, bye-bye for good. So then the other thing I talked about was, driver's licenses and having, even illegals will be able to, foreign nationals who are illegally will be able to get one of these licenses. Theirs will be different, maybe a different color or something, or it'll note that they're a foreign national. Because they come in, then they don't go to their immigration stuff and everything like this. Well, in a cashless society, and to get a bank account, you're going to need identification. So driver's license, you go down to a motor vehicle, you take your birth certificate or your citizenship card, you get your original photo, and then the card will have your photo and your thumbprint, digitally on the card. It'll be a chip, and you'll be able to update your photo and your address through an app or something, so you don't have to go down to the motor vehicle and renew the license all the time. Your original photo and your thumbprint will be kept at motor vehicle because, identity theft or something, somebody wants to steal your license or something. So like a cop pulls you over, you give them your license. There's no picture or address or anything showing on the license itself. Maybe just your name or something. He slides the card, a photo of you comes up, your thumbprint comes up. He's got a little thumbprint scanner. If he needs to, he can check your thumbprint. And also the very first original picture and your original address when you got the license will come up. So if he looks at it and he's like, gee, Mr. Jones, when you got this license, it said you were African American, and now I'm looking at you right here, right now, and you're not African American. So he's going to know the photo. Somebody changed it, and so the original information and your citizenship or birth certificate information be kept in a secure system at MVD. So if there's any question as to if there's been hanky-panky with the driver's license, it'll be evident. But you'll be able to update your photo and your address information on your license. Because why do we have to, that's the only reason they make us go back to get another license. It's change of address or your photo, because the cops want to be able to look at your ID and see that it's you. So technically that's not even that big of a deal to begin with in 4 years, or if you change address or something. I mean, because the license is for you to drive, it's not to prove where you live. But if they got to write a citation and stuff, they want to know this correct address and all that. So to have to go back and get a new license every time you move, or every 4 years, just because your looks have changed, is ridiculous. Once you learn how to drive, you know how to drive. Why do you need to have to keep going back and getting another license? The only reason is it's because they want an updated photo and make sure the address information is correct. Well, now you can update the photo electronically and the address information. There's no need for you to constantly go back and get a new license. The other thing I talked about was voter ID. Now here's the thing. A lot of people, well, why can't you just use that as voter ID then, since you showed your birth certificate and all this and everything? Well, some people who vote don't drive. So you'd have this could all be one card too, come to think of it. But if you wanted to, you could have a separate card that was just a voter ID, which you would go to the post office or motor vehicle or whoever, and state pays for it. You get a photo and your birth certificate or citizenship and your thumbprint. Same thing, all digitally imprinted in the card in a chip, and your voter registration number, whatever. You go to vote, you slide your card, and that way people can't vote twice, and and all this kind of stuff that we should be worried about. Or, people who are convicts or all are dead. They found people who have supposedly voted who have been dead. So this would eliminate all that kind of stuff. And I've also said before, the right to bear arms and everything's for the people. There's a lot of people in this country who get guns who are not citizens of this nation, and there's places they can do that without even being questioned about their citizenship. So from now on, and we can argue, you can argue, these are ideas, but I don't think it's an infringement on your rights to prove your citizenship. So if you get one of these driver's licenses, whammo bammo, you've proved your citizenship already. If not, if you don't drive, okay, and you'll have a separate gun owner ID. Same, this could all be put on one card. So you'd have your information. You could go buy a gun, but you couldn't drive. But it could all be put on one card or 3 different cards. And then like I said, non-citizens, they would have a different license. It would state that they were non-citizens. They couldn't use it to buy a gun or to vote. And, they will need that to get a bank account. So there's not going to be any more of this paying people under the table stuff, paying them slave wages, all this types of stuff. They will have accounts instead of just welfare and everything paying their way. They will be paying partly responsible for their way. And then comes time, depends on how we view immigration and all that kind of stuff at the time. If they don't go to their hearings, where they're at, where their money is, you can get a hold of them, and we'll work on immigration laws about what we need to do to make it right, where people, law-abiding citizens, can get into the country and get to work and stuff like that, and not be in fear of being deported or stuff for the wrong reasons, whatever it is. But we'll work on that. So I think that answers a lot of problems. I know a lot of people are going to balk because they will not think illegals will have to do anything, and that this will somehow be unfair to them. But even non-citizens, you'll be able to get a license. You'll have to pass the test, just like everybody else. And if that means being able to read the signs in English, guess what? Because we have foreigners come here on vacation all the time. We rent cars and all that. And same thing if you go to Mexico. You can drive in Mexico on your license. You just got to buy insurance for down there. So, if they got a Mexican license, they come up here, they want to drive a car here, transfer the license, whatever. But that definitely, if you're going to live here, do business here, you are going to need to get on the cashless system. So those are my ideas for that. I try to explain that stuff. I know a lot of gun owners will balk at, it's an infringement, this and that. I don't think it is too much to prove that you're a citizen. And, you're worried, then the government's going to know I own a gun. Well, I don't think they're going to come. It'd be pretty much impossible to come after everybody who owned a gun and try and confiscate them, if you ask me. So maybe certain cities and stuff people live in, and they could make it harder and all this and everything. But then if they find somebody who has a gun, who doesn't have one of these cards, then you up the charges. They bought a gun without proving they were a citizen, or they're not a citizen, and they bought a gun, somehow got a hold of a gun, then you up the charges or whatever. And so, like I said, about putting chips in guns, I know people would balk on that. And then, like, if the battery's getting low in the chip, it automatically sets the safety or some other device in the gun, so it can't fire. So you would have to use a micro USB or something to charge the chip when it was getting low. And this would just send out a serial number. It's not going to tell who owns it, nothing like that. It's just going to send a serial number. So if a gun is used somewhere, a crime is committed, like I said, we'll have, these scanners that will read cell phone serial numbers will be electronically tagged. If you put them in firearms, and then inside automobiles, and the automobiles will have kill switches. No more high-speed chases. No more claims of driving while black, because if they get an APB for a black guy in a silver Toyota, and you're on your way home from grandma's house in your silver Toyota, and they're looking, and there's no way they're going to mistake you for who they're looking for, because the next generation cop car kit from Knight Rider will have a scanner in it, and it'll electronically scan your vehicle, and if it doesn't get the ping back from, that serial number matching for the one they're looking for that was at the scene of a crime or something, the officer's not going to have to pull you over. And we'll up the antes for tampering and stuff, for disabling those types of tags and stuff, and pretty much make it like a black box on an airplane. But also, that'll keep track of your speed. No more phony speed tickets. Cop's sitting there with his radar gun out trying to get speeders, or he's gonna try and write a phony ticket. This thing is gonna have your tag, your electronic serial number, your VIN number, and it's also gonna have GPS and all that and everything. So it's gonna have your speed too. And the system's gonna be, the cop will have no way to manipulate this system. All it's gonna do is show electronic serial numbers that that are being looked for. Like, say these looters take off from a shopping center. All right, the scanners are around there, so the cops go in. These scanners hold the information for a while. They're on light poles or whatever, and they look and they see all these VIN numbers, these electronic tag numbers that are there. They then know we're going to look for these cars because they were at the scene of a crime. So the cop is sitting in a squad car. You drive by, your car was at that scene. The scanner is going to pick it up, alert the officer, and then he's going to be able to pull you over. He's not going to be able to manipulate the system in any way, shape, or form. And in thinking all this stuff too, that with traffic violations and this type of stuff and everything, why do you have to go to court and all this? Or if you're trying to fight it and everything, with the computer says you can have a thing in your Starbucks where you go in, you have the data from your car, and the cop wrote you a ticket, and says the system pinged you and he had you on your radar, this and that and everything. You go in, you have through an app, you can download what was in your car, the information in your car, plug it right into the system, or send it to the court that way. And even stuff like that could be automated, or you can do it, like Skype things and stuff. You have traffic court that way. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We're not bogging down courts and judges with all kinds of crap. Here you go. Here's my information straight from my car, and the officer can't produce his, and you've got no speeding ticket, no claims of being pulled over because you're driving while you're black, because if there ain't any reason to pull you over, they're not going to pull you over. Or if there ain't any confusion, they're not going to pull you over. So anyhow, I think with technology we can answer a lot of these problems. We can make it very difficult for criminals like looters and this and that, because the street poles and the parking lots and all this will have these scanners, and it's never going to be looked at by the cops unless there's a crime, and then they're going to pull up the information, and if in cases where they need a warrant, this and that, they're going to get their warrant for that VIN, that electronic tag, and then come and ask you, maybe they just want to see what you were doing there. Maybe you're not the prime suspect, but they want to see if you witnessed anything. Whatever it is, maybe these things, you have to ask the crime experts, how long they should hold data, 72 hours or whatever. But it's not going to be one of these things where people are tracked all the time. It's only going to be if a crime occurs. And in certain circumstances, maybe they need to get a warrant. Others, maybe they don't. This will also help with amber alerts and silver alerts and all this. So say like a certain year, 2026, all new vehicles have to have this. The cruisers will all have the scanners and the kill switches. And then you make it, I don't know, another 10 years down the road, by whatever year, all older vehicles will either have to have them installed, or maybe you do another thing, time for everybody to get a new car, and new engine designs are out, plus we got these scanners. We'll get all the old stuff, we'll help the environment and make the road safer, this and that. This is not going to be something used to track. It's not going to be used to, like photo radar to automatically give you tickets or monitor the way you drive, unless you want to do that for your auto insurance, because they've already have systems like this out there that track how you drive and base your premiums off it. So, we're looking at, cashless society. Everything's done by electronically. Your payroll comes in electronically. All your bills are paid electronically. Your funds for your medical and your burial and your retirement are automatically put percentage-wise into the accounts. We'll make recommendations or minimums, but you decide what you can afford or not. And of course, you'd be able to adjust those. Maybe they would adjust automatically. Yeah, because if they're percentage, they would adjust automatically to what goes in them. Unless you wanted to go from like 4% to 2% or something like that. But same with taxes. What comes out of your wages and stuff and everything is percentage based. So your paycheck ain't that big one week. Guess what? Not that much comes out. So I think as we move forward, it's 2020. We can make life a lot simpler for law-abiding citizens, and we can make it harder for criminals. What do y'all think? So I'll leave this here at this one, and I'll do the rebuilding America and cow farts ones when I get a chance. Anyhow, this stuff was fresh in my mind, and there was a couple fine points, especially about the gun ownership and stuff. I wanted to clear up, So if you go to motor vehicle that one time, get your driver's license, you show your birth certificate or your proof of citizenship, then you're automatically eligible to buy a firearm, because you've proven you're a citizen, and you don't have to go and renew that license ever again, anything like that. You can just update your photo and your address, and whenever you want to buy a firearm, you don't have to go through the process a second time of getting your birth certificate, or it's already on your driver's license. So, all right, wish you all the best out there. God bless. Hope that helps clear up any of the points I was trying to make earlier. Adios.